You are listening to the Mix at Six here with me, your host, KalelCreed, and I have a very special treat on the line. I went out on a limb to try to get in contact with this individual. This individual is someone who you all need to know. It's not someone you want to know. You need to know about him. This is a young man who has taken the lead on something that is near and dear to my heart and is near and dear in our community. But I'm going to stop running my mouth. I'm going to let him talk. His name is Absalon White Jr. Absalon, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How are you doing today?
I'm good, sir. Am I saying your name right? Let's get that out of the way.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Absalon. Yeah.
Absalon. Okay. All right. First of all, greatest name ever. Probably the greatest name ever. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Thank you.
All right. For those who don't know, and there's probably a couple, please tell them about yourself.
Yeah, no, so I'm a comic book writer. I'm originally from Michigan. I moved to Arizona when I was 4 years old back in 2005. And I found a love with comic books and writing. And I took control of that passion and finally made it a reality this year.
That is super dope. That is super dope. And how many, are you aware of how many young, first of all, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. And when did you start writing?
I started writing at the age of 14.
14.
Yeah.
What was I doing at 14? Not writing comics. I was not writing comics. I had no idea what I wanted to do at 14, and you had it figured out at 14. I can't imagine that I can't imagine that there are a lot of black comic book writers, in your age group, or am I wrong?
Not that I know off the top of my head. Just in general, of any age group, just trying to think of any black comic book writers, it's hard to think of one, and that's kind of, a little bit of why I do this, so we can get into that a little bit. Okay.
How long have you been into comics, been a fan of comics?
Probably right around the age that I started writing. I know that me writing in general and falling in love with comics had a lot to do with both of my parents. My dad was the one who introduced me into comic books in general.
Okay.
And my mom was the one who introduced me into writing. So I kind of combined the two aspects of what my parents introduced me to and went from there.
Wow. Do you do the animation yourself? Do you draw also?
I do not. No, I wish I was that talented.
Same, brother. Same.
I can dabble and dabble. I used to draw a lot of anime growing up, and that's probably why my mom suggested I started writing. But I reached out to someone, a man named AJ Cerezo.
Okay.
In the Philippines. And he is a fantastic artist. For those who've seen the trailer, you guys know his artwork is incredible. And he does a great job. Yeah,
I watched that trailer a couple of times, and he has you spot on. Like the main character, the superhero, and for those who don't know, what's the character's name?
The character's name is Instant.
Okay. And I'm looking at your picture and I'm looking at his picture, and it's pretty spot on. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, he did a really good job. I think I had to put in like maybe 15 different headshots of different angles of me, because for those who don't know, I am the main character of the story and the superhero. And I decided, hey, let me go and do this. And he asked for a few photos. I sent it to him, and I was very surprised by how spot on he could get my facial reactions and everything.
Exactly. Like I'm looking at it right now, and we'll get to how y'all can look at the trailer and how you can actually order the comic book a little bit later. But let's get into some of your influences. Who were your influences growing up? Comic book wise.
I think for me, who isn't a fan of Stan Lee, of course. But I think that a lot of my influence came from probably anime growing up. I was a big fan of Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
And that had a lot of influence. Akira Toriyama, of course. And yeah, I think between Akira and Stan, those had pretty big influences on me.
Okay, you say Dragon Ball Z. Are you talking? Did you watch Dragon Ball, or did you start with Dragon Ball Z?
I started off with technically like 2 or 3 episodes of Kai, and then I was able to find like the original animation episodes with the Falconer store online somewhere, and I started watching that, and that's when I kind of watched all of these, and then I probably moved straight to GT and then watched like half of Dragon Ball.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And we have reached the extent of my anime knowledge because I have so many friends that are into anime and they say, have you seen this? Have you seen that? I have not. But it is a huge part of the black community. Like I know a lot of black people who are really into anime, who really dig anime, and to be able to talk to somebody or interview somebody who pretty much has their own comic book character instead of waiting to be represented, you decided I'm gonna go represent us and represent myself, and that's super dope.
Yeah, no, I definitely that was a big influence on the reason that I do this. And I don't know if somebody, read the articles or not. I kind of talked about it a little bit in there, but pretty much my whole thing with creating a black-led universe is simply the fact that if you were to ask anybody who might not know anything about comic books to name 5 white superheroes, they could do that in a heartbeat.
Right.
But if you were to ask that same person to name 5 black superheroes, in my opinion, I think they would have a hard time naming 2, let alone 5.
I agree. I agree 1,000%. I mean, it's pretty much you probably get Falcon and you probably get War Machine. That's just because the Avengers, were big. A couple years ago, and it outside of that, it'll be pretty, maybe Storm, people like that, but it'll be difficult for the average person to name 5 right off the top of their head. You're exactly right. What made you decide to create your own comic universe?
I think the realization that if I'm gonna do this, why not go all the way? Why stop at just one character?
Right.
And so I said, and honestly, it all started, at the same age of 14 when I first started kind of getting into comic book writing. It didn't just really start with one character. I kind of just had like 13 different character ideas. And at that time, they were just ideas. I didn't know how far I was really going to go, how serious I was going to take it, but I knew that it was something that I liked doing. And so I said, hey, let me just take a bunch of different characters, a bunch of different powers, and a bunch of different names and just run with it. So I found myself like every week just writing like 100 different characters at the same time, just for fun, not storylines per se, but just characters and their ideas and their powers and things like that.
Okay, that's really dope. Like I'm good at writing. I'm trash at drawing. I'm complete trash at drawing. but I can write a story. I can take what's in my head and put it on paper. But for you to do that with multiple characters, like that's difficult. Like to keep all that together and to keep all that organized and to have it all makes sense. That's a talent, brother.
But it really is. It can be a challenge at times, and sometimes I find myself kind of getting stuck or having that writer's block every once in a while. But it's fun.
But it's no pressure though, like because you can stop and start at your leisure because you don't really have a timetable, so you can really have fun with it, right?
Definitely, especially actually growing up because I was homeschooled since the 3rd grade.
Oh, okay.
And my parents essentially the teacher, so I have to kind of work on what I wanted to do, and I'm really happy that I have parents in my life that encouraged my gift and wanted me to succeed in what I wanted to do.
I love it. There's a huge cosplaying community, as we both know. Yeah. And sometimes there are, being that you have black characters, how would you feel if someone who wasn't black actually cosplayed as one of your characters?
For me personally, I think that would be fantastic. I would love it. I said a little bit, in the article that my comic books, although they are for the Black community, they are not just for or exclusively for the Black community. I want everybody to be able to appreciate and enjoy and love the characters that I've created. I want people to be able to see themselves and relate to this I've created, no matter what their ethnicity is, whether they're Hispanic or white or Asian or Black. And so for me, I think that would be really cool to see, no matter who they are, to cosplay as my character.
That's dope. That's dope. I agree 100%. All right. Now, this question is off topic, but is something that I told you before we started recording that, I had people were sending me questions. This is one of the questions that I'm curious about, and so are they. All right.
Okay.
We got Spider-Man, right?
Yes.
Miles Morales. Who are you picking to play Miles Morales? Who would you pick to play Miles Morales?
That's a tough one. I've thought about it from time to time, and I know that a lot of people online have said, I believe his actual name is Miles too, but the kid from Blackish.
The kid from Blackish, yeah.
Probably, at first I was looking at him, I was like, he feels a little bit too young, but I feel like once he grows up just a little bit and looks the age of about 15, because I know he is about that age, so once he starts to kind of look that age, I feel like he would be a nice choice to play Miles Morales. Okay,
I agree 100%. I heard Jaden Smith. I don't know how I feel about that one.
No.
But I heard Jaden Smith from a few people. But yeah, the kid from Stranger Things, the black kid from Stranger Things. I wish I knew his name.
Okay.
I should have known his name. But
yeah.
But I think the kid Miles from Blackish has the look. I absolutely loved Into the Spider-Verse, and like that whole comic feel and that whole look of that movie was super duper dope to me. And I just think that he looks the most like that Miles, and I really like that Miles in the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I agree.
So
especially the hair.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited about the new Into the Spider-Verse movie that's coming out. I am interested in the new Doctor Strange movie that's coming out, because I feel like something's going to cross over with those two worlds at some point.
Yeah.
Are you big into the comic book movies? Have you seen them all?
I am. I'm pretty big into them. I remember seeing both Endgame and Infinity War, I believe, opening day, or at least I tried with Endgame, but I couldn't see it until the next day or so, and I was bummed out. But each time I got spoiled 2 days before I went to go and see it.
I always go the Thursday, because here it releases on Thursday before it releases on Friday, nationwide. I'm always there. I just saw Morbius recently, and a lot of people didn't like it. I didn't mind it. I don't know if you saw Morbius, but I didn't mind it.
I did. I just saw it with my girlfriend and my parents about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I didn't mind it. Yeah. I really didn't. I didn't mind it. What'd you think?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I think the only thing for me was, from what most people it sounds like and I can understand, was probably just the ending was a little bit lackluster. But still, it for me, it left me wanting more, but not in the best way. I was like, dang, I wish it could have ended just a little better. But at the same time, throughout the movie, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a pretty good movie. I can't be mad at it.
I feel like us as comic book movie fans, we're a little spoiled right now, and we think that everything is going to be No Way Home or Endgame or Infinity War. We have to taper it back. Everything is not going to be that. Something has to be world building. Something has to lead to something, and we have to. I don't know. I mean, I can see how the movie was all over the place a little bit, but I still had a good time, and that's all I'm there for.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Lastly, Static Shock. A lot of people have been wanting Static Shock. A lot of people have been asking for Static Shock. Who would you cast live action as Static Shock?
That one's even tougher than the Miles one, simply because I can't off the top of my head think of any young black actors with dread. And so it's hard for me to picture that role. I'm just drawing blank.
Well, I mean, they have wigs.
That's true. If they can make it work, if it's a Michonne wig, nah. If it's a what's his name in The Walking Dead, his wig was better than Michonne. So I could, if they did it right, yeah, I could see that.
All right, brother. I appreciate your time, and I'm gonna let you get out of here. But before we get out of here, please let everybody know how they can order your comics.
Definitely. It is available on Amazon, the Kindle app, and Comixology. It's only $9.99, and it is a great and long read. Is
it graphic novel type long, or is it more traditional comic?
It is. I would put it like this. It's pretty much like 3 issues combined into one comic. It's about 75 pages.
Okay.
And the traditional one is 22, so it's a bit of a read.
Okay, well, I mean,
not too much, but it's good enough.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Not too much. It's definitely worth it for $10. So I'm definitely on board for that. Is there a way to get a hard copy? Do you have that ability yet?
As of now, no. But I something I've thought about is definitely doing like a limited run of 10. And kind of doing something fun with that, maybe a fun way or something like that. So hopefully in the future I'll look into doing something like that. Hey,
I want to be first in line. I love collecting. I probably won't even open it. I probably just have it have it in the plastic and leave it in there. That's the kind of stuff that I do. So I love collecting. So hey, if you do that, please let me know. I'll be the first one in line for that.
Definitely, you'll be the first to know.
I appreciate it. All right, your socials. Let everybody know your socials.
So I'm actually currently only active on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Absalon White Jr. And you'll see my profile picture is my comic book cover. So
okay, and Absalon is
and I think I'm the only Absalon White Jr. on there too.
probably. And Absalon is ABSALON WHITEJR, correct?
Yes.
All right, brother. Man, I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate you taking time out to talk to me, talk to us, let us know about you, because we love supporting, young black, entrepreneurs. Like you're gonna be big. So I'm glad that you took the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate you.
Definitely. No, thank you. I really appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to come on here and just answer questions and just have a good time with you. So, no, it was really fun, and it was an honor. Thank you.
All right, brother. I appreciate your time. Hopefully, I can have you back on. We can just hang out for the whole show and just talk comic stuff, because I'm a huge comic book nerd.
Definitely. That's something that I'd definitely be down for, and I'd love to do. I'd love to be back on.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Absalon White Jr. Make sure y'all check him out. Follow him on Instagram. Order that comic instant. You need it in your life. Go watch that trailer. It's over on YouTube right now. Check it out. Follow him. He's going to be a big deal, and you can say you knew him at the very beginning. Absalon, thank you again, brother.
Thank you.